Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk to you about how to use meditation to help you sleep because all the people that I'm talking to, my clients, the people I coach, people who write to me who've read my books, people I hear from on my podcast, I would say probably the number one challenge that most people are having right now is sleeping. Partly because our world at the moment is in a pandemic and it seems to be going on and on and on. And so that creates anxiety, but also what creates anxiety and what keeps us from sleeping is that our lives have been disrupted and they're no longer predictable. And one of the reasons why we can't sleep is because predictability helps us feel secure. We don't know what's coming. It's hard to rest. It's hard to let ourselves relax. And then, of course, if we're in a pandemic, there's a threat. And so, whether we actually are threatened or not, it's in the air, it's in the general global population. So, we can't help but feel it. We're feeling the general anxiety, and that's also keeping us up. And the third thing that's happening is we're overstimulated because our worlds are super noisy. And it's kind of put us in a hyper agitated mode. So it keeps us from being able to unwind. So, okay, don't beat yourself up if you can't sleep. And then, of course, there's hormones, there's age, there's diet, there's too much alcohol, there's well, who knows? And you know, and I know. But we actually can develop a tool that will help us unwind. And then from that, help us give ourselves permission to sleep. And the best thing about this tool, meditation, is that if you if you use it regularly, even if you can't get into the deepest sleep right away, your body actually gets rested. So you're not in that energetic deficit, that exhausted, kind of fragile, crispy state, as we call it. So I want to give you some tools on how to use meditation to help you sleep. The first is something you do during the day before you even go to bed. I want you to maybe now you may have to remind yourself with an alarm on your phone or an alert rather on your phone or something, but throughout the day I want you to say to yourself, I am I am calm. I am safe. All is well. Because nothing is more influential in your life than the sound of your own voice. So it has a powerful influence and it starts to train you. I'm calm. Everything's okay. I'm safe. And then breathe through each of these statements. And let out a deep sigh and just say, okay, I choose to be calm. That's another good one. I choose to be calm. I choose to not react. I choose to not be affected by what's going on around me. I'm going to be calm. And you can't be calm if you're not breathing enough, because if you're not breathing enough, you're going to be in fight or flight because your body's in trouble. So take a deep breath. I'm choosing to be calm. I'm calm. I'm safe. This is even more powerful because one of the biggest reasons we can't sleep is that we don't feel safe. We don't feel like we can let our attention relax. So look around. In this moment, I'm safe. I'm breathing. I'm alive. My heart is beating. I'm safe. Now, of course, I know a lot of you are going, what if I'm not safe? Well, then you breathe and you choose, I'm calm and I'm going to make some choices to create safety. So, but generally we often feel just kind of this amorphous threat. There's no real face, there's no real person, there's no real situation. Certainly the news adds to this by constantly bombarding us with a reminder that we are in tremendous danger, and don't ever forget it, because adrenaline is what that creates, and adrenaline is addictive. So our news broadcasts are addicting us to these messages. And so that's why they keep us like in high five alert. So I'm safe. There might be a crisis going on, but I'm not in crisis. I'm safe. And then the other statement to make through the day is everything's okay and everything will be okay. I don't know how, but it will be. That's an important statement. Everything's going to be okay. Everything is okay. It's going to be okay. So, those are some statements that I want you to start practicing during the day. And none of them will really get in if you don't preface it with a nice deep breath. Breathe. And you know, breathing in and out of your nose has a deeply calming effect on your body. Just try it right now. Just breathe in, breathe out through the nose. And you can kind of hum when you breathe in. Because that hum sends a vibration through your brain that kind of quiets your brain. Breathe in. And this is something that you can start doing when you're ready for bed. When you're ready for bed, I want you to give yourself at least 30 minutes where you kind of unplug from all the stimulation. You can listen to music, but I want you to unplug from what's coming into your eyes because your eyes keep your brain active. So if you can close your eyes, even have a sleep mask, that's helpful because it allows that part of your active thinking brain to rest. So that's another little thing. If you get a sleep mask, you can close your eyes and then just breathe. If you're completely overwhelmed and you have a tremendous amount on your plate, then you can do one of two things. And this one helps. You can take your phone recorder and start recording this. Just, I'm worried about this, I'm afraid of this, I'm stressed about this, but consider that you're emptying the garbage, okay? You're just emptying it, and I'll deal with it tomorrow. I'm not ignoring you, it's just I can't do anything right now. And this is very helpful. And it's trying to fight it or ignore it, just acknowledge it. And the sound of your voice, again, is very, very powerful. So if you say, I will address this tomorrow, I will look at this tomorrow, but it's this, it's this, it's this. The other thing that keeps us awake, of course, is overstimulation with food and things. So if you can give yourself a little break before bed from sugars and proteins and alcohol and instead drink a chamomile tea or a glass of warm water, just a little one. Hydration is a big reason why a lot of us can't sleep. We're dehydrated. So these are just some preps. And then for the actual meditation itself, what I want you to do is I want you to put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. You want to breathe in through your heart to the count of 4. Slowly. You might not be able to make 4 initially, but try. And then you breathe out. Imagine it's coming out of your belly to the count of 4 as your belly is pulled into your spine. And every time you breathe in, you say, I love. And every time you breathe out, you say, myself. I breathe in, I love myself. I love myself. Your brain might have a lot of comments about that, and you just don't expect that noise to stop. Just say, nevertheless, I love myself. So your brain's noisy like a barking dog, bark, 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 and it's like, nevertheless, I love myself. And you take those breaths for a while. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. And then after a while, you can change, if you'd like, to the next mantra, which is, it's safe to rest. It's safe to rest. The other thing you can say is, everything's okay. All is well. And those 2 mantras, I love myself and all is well, are very helpful. You can also put on some calming music, and there's, but not words, ideally, just the music. Or you can listen to a guided meditation, and I'm going to give you a link to a free guided meditation that I created for sleep that's been very, very successful for a lot of people. So I'd like you to experience this. And the most important thing is that the reason you're not sleeping, well, there's a ton of reasons, but primarily and at the core, you need to tell yourself, I love myself and I'm safe to relax. I love myself. And the other thing that really helps very much is before you go to bed, I want you to see your room surrounded by guardian angels. Not just any old guardian angels, archangels. Now, whether you believe in them or not, take the leap. Imagine that even if I don't believe in them, I have these 6 archangels that are protecting me. To the east and to the west, Raphael and Gabriel. To the north and to the south, Uriel and Michael. Above me and below me, Metatron and Sandalphon. And this might all be new information to you, and your logic brain might say, I don't believe that, but it's okay. Imagine when you were a kid. Imagination. Just imagine, whether you believe it or not, there are these loving protective forces watching over me in all 6 directions and have my back. And I'm going to give myself permission to imagine that, because that's very calming, very healing, and it reassures the part of you that's afraid to relax. I am going to give myself permission to relax because I've got archangels watching over me. It's very helpful. So I hope this little tutorial is useful. I also know I've been teaching for a very long time that if we learn too much at once, we forget it. So I don't want to give you too much at once, but if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do, because I do give these bite-sized tips, and I have watched and taught people for so long, and I know that we learn better in bite sizes. So try the mantras through the day, the reassuring mantras, the heart belly breathing. Surround yourself by protective forces. Let your imagination imagine that. And believe it or not, even if you don't fall deeply into sleep right away, you'll fall into a state of deep rest that is equally rejuvenating to the body. So you can tell yourself, don't say, I have to go to sleep. Just say, it's time to rest. All is well. It's time to rest and rejuvenate. And your body will say, okay, time to rest and rejuvenate. So you take the pressure off of all of that. So there's a lot of little goodies in here that I think will really make a difference. And I wish you just a deeply relaxing experience. I know that especially if you're inclined to be sensitive, empathic, or intuitive, you get really overstimulated. So this is especially helpful for you. And just know you are safe, you are protected, you are loved, and you just have to agree and allow to that being part of your reality. Okay, so I will see you. I will see you again soon. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, and don't forget to get the link to my free meditation for sleep. Okay, all my love. Bye.